so I finally bit the bullet and decided to buy Assassin's Creed Rogue. Now, if you want my too long didn't watch review, then yeah, I definitely would recommend it. I would not recommend buying the Digital Enhanced Edition, or whatever they're calling it nowadays, because it really doesn't add anything to the core experience. In fact, it almost takes away from the core experience by giving you overpowered weapons from the start of the game, and it reveals everything on the map. You don't have to get a single, eagle-eye location ever, I would assume. I didn't buy it because I'm not stupid. Also, I didn't have enough money. COVID's got me down, man. Anyways, I would like to start off by talking about the environment. This is something I believe that this game does exceptionally well. When I sit there looking at these beautiful wastelands of snow and seeing these beautiful aurora borealises, I can really picture that and say, man, that's my backyard. And it is. And while I've been to many of the other locations of other Assassin's Creed games, such as 3 and 4, when I play those games, I'm not really thinking, wow, I've been there. I'm thinking, hey, I don't remember the Caribbean being this yellow. But that's not really what people play Assassin's Creed games for. They don't sit there and go, wow, the beautiful colors. That's what people play Witcher games for. Don't believe me? How many Witcher 3 players have read the books? Like, all of them. I know I haven't, because I bought the game, and then I bought the first game, and then I bought the books, and I'm kind of angry that I have to read all the books. That's besides the point. The gameplay is fantastic. One of my favorite elements that I think they introduced to this game, I wouldn't know, I think that it was originally added in Liberation, but I never played Liberation, is the rope dart. The rope dart is the most fun weapon to just kind of swing around. Kind of roleplay as Scorpion, just going, get over here, and then stabbing people while they're on the ground, or hanging above in a thin wire and just stabbing people from above and hanging them almost. It's euphoric, I would say, if I was a psychopath, but I'm not a psychopath, and I would just say it's kind of cool little addition. Not really useful, and I didn't really use it all that much. Another one of my favorite additions has to be the silenced rifle. Like, what? It's not just a rifle, it has an underbarrel, explosive device. What the hell? It doesn't shoot bullets, it shoots sleeping needles and stuff like that. But I still believe that it's really powerful, and it's one of the devices that you'll be using most often on land, if you can remember to use the scroll wheel to actually find the damn thing, which seems to be my problem. Because the problem with most Assassin's Creed games, at least in this era of the game series, is that most of the combat boils down to attack, parry, riposte, riposte, attack, parry, riposte, riposte, because every riposte is an insta-kill, which is kind of overpowered. When there are so many cool gadgets in your game, and the most easy way to get through it is just click, E, click, click, E, click, click, and I know that doesn't work on all enemies. Sometimes you have to press the spacebar. Ooh, risky. But I do like how they changed it up with the kind of whispering assassins that are always kind of stalking you. As somebody who is paranoid, I do feel like that really captures the feeling of someone's always around the corner. Some things they brought back from Black Flag were things like the naval combat and the sea shanties. Now, when I was a wee little lad and I played Black Flag on my Xbox, I was always competing for the Xbox or television. My grandparents would want to watch NCIS or Blue Bloods. I would not be allowed to play video games because it takes the one TV. So it sucked that I didn't have it on my computer. Now that I have it on my computer, I feel like I have free time to actually spend into the naval combat. I remember there was a time when I got really stuck because I just didn't have the time to grind out a lot of the ship upgrades to actually progress in the story. And that really sucked. But in this game, my ship was barely leveled up at all, and I was able to get through the entire game within 10-ish hours. And I found that I actually enjoyed the naval combat this time around. It wasn't something that got in the way of my Assassin's Creeding, but something that did was the parkour system. Now, I hadn't noticed it, as the only game I had played before Black Flag was 2. The parkour in the old games sucks, to put it bluntly. I mean, honestly, when you go up a building, you press W and Shift. Okay, but Shift is also the run button. So maybe sometimes when you're running by a rope lift, you'll get zooped up. Now, I feel like I've been kind of spoiled by this, because I've been playing a lot of Unity with my friend before I bought this game. And to introduce him, let's have Kevin come pop out. Hiya, Kevin. Now, we see Kevin here climbing up a building. Very easy, very simple. But now let's see me try and climb a building in Rogue. Why am I struggling? There's a window right there. Grab it, like, for fuck's sake, just press the button. Now the big difference here is that in Unity, there are 2 buttons for climbing, instead of just pressing W and Shift. You press space to ascend and E to descend. So let's say my buddy Kevin here decides to go from the right side of the building to the left side of the building. Mind the attackers. While he does that, he doesn't accidentally descend or ascend randomly because the shift button isn't the general purpose climb button. He can go exactly where he wants with near exact precision, something that is not found in the old games. Another little thing, like just a really small thing that griped me, and I noticed this when I had captured an outpost base, like here, I burnt the flag and now all these guys were there and whatever. Whenever I bumped into one of them, they turned hostile. Now, I believe that this is an issue from borrowing assets. They borrowed a lot of the assets from 4 to make this game, so they could make a larger game, maybe a more expansive game, just a general game. A general game? A better game in general is what I'm trying to say. And I understand that, and I appreciate that this is more of a passion project than just the new magnum opus of video gaming, because it didn't have to be. It just had to be fun. And of course it was, but when you bump into these guys who are supposedly your allies, I mean, both Templars, right? They suddenly turn hostile, like, for what? What did I do? What? It was very annoying, to say the least. But in Unity, and even in 4, footage not found, when you bump into guards that are not on your side, they attack you the exact same way, but when you bump into your teammates, guess what? They don't care. And to prove that they're my teammates, I just shoot this guy and... Hey look, they're fighting for me, even though I bumped into him a couple of times. And now I don't have to try and escape the fort that I just captured. Like, seriously, that's very annoying when it happens over and over and over again. Something else you might notice is that Shay doesn't actually wear a hood. Now, he can wear a hood depending on the outfit you give him, but none of them are actually the outfit that he wears in the pictures they advertise the game with, which I think is a little misleading. But something they do give him is when he goes into a restricted area, he kind of like Elvis's his like collar, he puffs it up like, oh, Elvis has left the building. You know, I can't do an Elvis impression, but you can get the general gist of that. And I kind of enjoy that. Like, even though it's just a little thing, even in a game like Unity, your hood is always up. He doesn't fray out his hood, he doesn't put it on, he doesn't fray out the edges of his suit. Now my final gripe with the game is definitely the stealth system. In Unity, you can press Control, and hey, your guy has squatted down. Great. A lot of fun. I love that because it literally physically shows you stealth and not stealth. And I understand why that was implemented in the game, because there were no forests or no large piles of grass to hide in. You know, it's a huge town. You've got people to blend in with, but you're not really going to be using that because the control button just does it so much better. Now my final gripe about this game is the customization. I've got a large problem with the customization in this game. There are only a couple of outfits, and while there are a lot more swords, none of them are really specialized. There's not like the attack sword that's really good at attack, the speed sword that's really good with speed. There's just a general upgraded, just better version of that later down the line that costs more. So you just renovate buildings, do your whatever, you know how it is, and then huzzah, you got a better weapon. It didn't really feel like strategizing, as in games like Unity and hell, even Assassin's Creed 2, there were different types of weapons that did different things, you know? Although in Unity, I didn't like how it was generic scaling, kind of like that as well. I would have liked it if, yes, I'm picking a heavy weapon, but this is the fast heavy weapon. This is the strong heavy weapon. This is the, you know, I would have liked subgenres within the weapons themselves. And I think they kind of did that with the guillotine gun, but I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a completely different game. And I feel like I've been quite negative in this review. In fact, I'm not sure I'd even like to call it a review at this point. Just some general criticisms if they ever decide to return to form and make another Templar game that kind of focuses around this. Because I like the idea that you play as a Templar. I like how they're trying to flesh out the whole Templar story. But I don't like how the first few games set the Templars up to be irredeemable bastards. So they have to go around this whole irredeemable bastard arc to make irredeemable bastards for a cause. It's dumb. It doesn't really work because of the way that it was set up. I would have much rather liked it if maybe the games from the assassin's point of view were skewed in their interest. Like, that's the propaganda. That's assassin propaganda. That's what they, like, oh, the Templars are bad because bad. But, like, the Templars would be like, oh, well, the assassins are bad because bad. I mean, they're video games. You can skew them however you want. Canonically, the games are games. I don't know. But something I really did like was how the missions are kind of introduced. Now, in Black Flag, there's a little feature where you go over to a bird's nest, pick out a bird, get the little note card on it, and it tells you who your target to assassinate is. And the reverse of this is in Rogue, where you find loose pigeons, you grab them, you find the little note card on them that tells you, hey, this is the person you're supposed to kill, and you defend them instead of killing them. When I first did this the first 2 or 3 times, I'm like, why am I catching birds? Like, I know birds were significant in the first few games, but in this one it doesn't really make sense. And then I thought about it for a second. I'm like, oh, right, I'm just kind of stupid. I feel like the story of this game also only really works if you've played Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4, and maybe even the Adewale spin-off game, because he, spoiler alert, he kills Adewale, and that's kind of like an epic moment for him. He kills a lot of people, actually, and I'm not sure I know everybody, because I never played 3 all the way through to finish it, because I didn't really like how 3 was presented. I didn't like the controls, I didn't like the overarching narrative, I didn't play Brotherhood or Revelations, so I was kind of lost in the story. I don't know. I really like the game. I like the naval combat. I feel like it's much better, except for the fact they give you a Gatling gun. I'm not sure I kind of understand that at all. Like, what? This is supposed to be like pirate times. Also, I do like how you can customize your ship, but something I don't like about the customization, sorry, I'm looping back around to this. This is an unscripted video. I'm just kind of going to put it out there because I want to put something out this weekend. I don't like how this particular outfit is a literal direct upgrade to the other one, because the assassins will sometimes throw smoke bombs down, and then you have to press space to put on a gas mask so you don't get hurt. But this costume automatically equips the gas mask at all times. Well, it's not really a gas mask, it's more of just a, blow your nose into a handkerchief kind of thing. It's overpowered. It kind of takes away one of the gameplay advantages. And what sucks is this is one of the coolest looking outfits that you can get that doesn't take it doesn't take a bajillion fucking years to unlock, because you get it right away for the Ubisoft point thing. I don't know, I just was received it. I think they did away with that as well. Like, you can't pay for the things, you just automatically receive them, which sucks because I spend a lot of Ubisoft points on other games. But I don't know. I enjoy the game, and if you're into Assassin's Creed, or at least the older games, I would definitely say check it out, because a lot of the gripes that I have are in retrospect. Had Unity not come out, had Syndicate not come out, had not Revelations, I'm stupid, but in hindsight, this game has a couple of flaws, and I still was able to enjoy it. I loved the atmosphere, I loved the kind of running around, I loved the animations. I also liked how this character used a sword and a knife, something we don't really see that often. Usually it's just a sword or a gun. I don't know. I also liked a lot of the gadgets. I think it was a lot of fun to play around with, and I'm definitely going to continue playing this game, even after I've fully beaten it. So, yeah, anyways, here's just Kevin and I playing some Puyo.